Okay, everyone, before we dive into the overview of section 3, there's another quick introductory video that we need to touch upon and make. And I would consider this video to probably be one of the most important videos in the entire course with respect to doing practical data analysis, coding, anything to do with programming in the real world. So once you get into your real job, or even when you start working on the group projects. And that is the concept of troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is a situation where you have a problem and you need to answer that problem or fix that problem with some sort of answer to a certain type of question. And in the context of programming, especially when you get started, this is usually in the form of errors. You put some code into a Kaggle notebook, you get an error back. What do you do? So Stack Overflow is the platform that I really want to touch upon today. Here you can see this is just like the starting page of Stack Overflow. You can see that I have an account. I highly encourage you to create an account on Stack Overflow. You can see each of these line items here is essentially some sort of programming question that somebody asked related to a bug or a problem or some issue they ran into. And these are let's click on one of these that potentially has maybe a link to what we do. So here's one, for example. Actually, yeah, that's not such here's a better one. More efficient iteration in pandas and Python. This is a question that was asked not too long ago, it seems. And it's a person who has a certain problem, asked today, active today, viewed 29 times. I have hundreds of text files with thousands of records, 6 gigabytes of data. This person has this chunk of code. They ended up getting some sort of results, and they want to figure out a better way of doing this by multiprocessing the code somehow. And so they've asked this question, and within, I don't know how long ago they asked this, but within a few minutes, they actually have somebody who leaves an answer, very concise one at that, but they leave a very quick answer about how to possibly attack this problem. So this is really, I highly encourage you when you run into issues or errors or things, and there is no way to fix them. There's two methods you can do in this course. One of them is that you can, on the discussion board of the class or within Kaggle discussion, you can ask a question about how to fix something. But another way you could do it is you could use Stack Overflow. So let's say I'm having a problem loading data into a data frame using .read underscore CSV from the pandas library. So I could say .read underscore CSV error. Let's just look at that. Here you can see that depending on what error you have, there are dozens and dozens of people who also had .read CSV errors. Here's an encoding error. Here's a convert percent string to float error. Here's a date time error. Here's another encoding error, another parsing error. So you can see there's 21 pages of errors that people ran into when loading .csv using Python pandas. If let's say, the most votes question, here's a question with 159 votes. This is a really well-known question in a sense that a lot of people have found this question. It was asked 5 years ago. It was viewed 64,000 times. 49 people found this question useful. They basically saw that this person asked this question and they got this C parser error and they didn't know what to do with it. And there's a few answers here. That's the thing about Stack Overflow is more than one person can leave answers. So here you can see an answer with 16 votes with a green check mark by it, which means that the person who asked the question indicates that this is at least a correct answer. They accepted this answer. But if you scroll down, you'll notice that here's a person that has left an answer that is quite seemingly concise, quite straightforward. And 159 people have left a useful upvote here. And you can see since I'm logged in, I can also leave an upvote here. But you can also leave an answer. If you can't find the question in here by searching for it, you can also ask a question, for example, which you may do if you'd like. It's not very common that you have to ask a question because 97% of the time someone else has already asked that exact question because it's something that's very common. If I go to my Stack Overflow account, you can see that over the years, I've asked 14 questions only, which is basically less than 0.01% of the time of using Stack Overflow. I probably use Stack Overflow tens of thousands of time over the last 10 to 12 years. I've probably used Stack Overflow so many times I can't even count. I've only left 4 answers, so there are a few times where I found questions that I can leave an answer to. And I've upvoted hundreds or even thousands of questions. I've cast 2,412 votes over that time period. I've visited 913 days over the last 10 years. So you can see how much basically every day for more than 3 years or 2.5 years like that. So 2.5 out of the last 10 years, I've visited Stack Overflow at least once in that day. So it's so useful. It's such a useful platform for people learning to code. I did not learn how to do data science and code by sitting next to a seasoned programmer. I learned by trying, I learned by tackling data sets that I cared about. And I used Stack Overflow as a place to debug and get my questions answered. So once again, this is really some of the most practical and important advice I can give to somebody who wants to really learn data science, especially beyond the realm of this project, is that there are lots of places out there on the internet that you can find help to help troubleshoot problems and things like that. And I showed this video is a follow-up on the last video from section 2, where I actually used Stack Overflow to find some interesting insights.